first fight, we have Chavez Barrientes. He's taking on tough Noah Contreras, and we know what the Barrientes twins have done in this building. Chavez looking to continue that. So, to get things started, for the first time this evening, let's go up to our ring announcer, Mark Fratto.
All right, fight fans here in Florida. It's time to bring two fighters into the ring and go worldwide on DAZN. Let's meet first, making his way to the red corner, from Fort Mojave, Arizona, Noah La Araña Contreras.
The motto of that man, Noah Contreras. He works as a barber part-time, has 3 young kids, and is making his name as a pro boxer. He's familiar with his opponent tonight, Chavez Barrientes, and says the game plan is to beat him early and push on the gas late.
And part of the game plan is maybe to be like that Spider-Man that he likes so much. You see it on his ring attire, the spider and the fly. Is he going to be the spider or the fly against Chavez Barrientes, who should have a power advantage? Very comparable records, but this one should be a good one.
And his opponent, Chavez Barrientes, has made a name here. Let's get him to the ring.
And now, his undefeated opponent makes his way to the blue corner. From Honolulu, Hawaii, Chavez, 50 cal Barrientes.
2 more rounds. That is the advantage Chavez Barrientes feels like he'll get tonight. This is the first 8-round fight for the undefeated Phenom. And in previous fights, Chavez felt like he hurt his opponents in the 6th round. The problem, the fight ended. So he feels like that extra 2 rounds are going to be an advantage here tonight, Mike.
Extra 2 rounds spells bad news for Noah Contreras. This Barrientes has been in camp with Tank Davis and Devin Haney. He's tight and he's sharp, and we're going to see it tonight in Orlando, my friend.
Boxing is in his blood. Named after Julio Cesar Chavez, his father and trainer Richard Barrientes, of course, trained him. His twin brother, Angel Barrientes. They've had highlight reel knockouts on this platform. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape.
The tail of the tape, Chavez Barrientes 22 versus 27 for Contreras. What it doesn't show you is comparable records, 9-1 and 9-0, but Barrientes has been in with better people. He's got the skill. He's the A side. I like him in this one.
Let's get this matchup underway. Let's throw it back up to our ring announcer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Caribe Royale here in Orlando, Florida. This is Caribe Royale Night of Champions on DAZN. Our opening contest is scheduled for 8 rounds in the featherweight division. Brought to you by Boxlab Promotions in association with Undisputed Promotions, and is presented by Caribe Royale Orlando. Embrace the moment, live Royale. Puncher's Chance, supporting all willing to take a chance, surrender to nothing. Bet Online, your online sportsbook, and Rival Boxing Gear, a global leader. The judges scoring this contest are Tina Griffith, Harold Hunt, and Rose Lesend. And controlling the action at the sound of the bell, the referee in charge is Michael De Jesus. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 121 1/2 pounds. As a professional, his impressive record stands with 9 victories, 1 defeat, 4 wins coming by way of knockout. He wears the red, white, and blue of Spider-Man and hails from Fort Mojave, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, Noah La Araña Contreras. His opponent is undefeated and fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 121 3/4 pounds. As a professional, his record is a perfect one. 9 bouts, 9 victories, 6 wins coming by way of knockout. He wears black and gold with green and hails from Honolulu, Hawaii. Now living, training, and fighting out of Las Vegas. Ladies and gentlemen, Chavez, 50 cal Barrientes.
rules were told to you in the locker room and in the corner. You both know what I expect. Belt lines are perfect. Touch gloves if you want to. If not, go back to your corner.
This is the first 8-round fight for both Chavez Barrientes and Noah Contreras. Both men feel like that's an advantage for each. Round 1 underway. Karan Bhatia on the call, joined by Michael Woods and Claudia Trejos. This is Boxlab Promotions Night of Champions from Caribe Royale, live on the Zone. Our first fight of the evening, Chavez Barrientes, the young undefeated phenom in the black trunks. The hungry challenger, Noah Contreras, in the blue and red. Let's get this one underway.
Chavez is starting out strong with the stiff jab, come forward in the face of Contreras. Good, strong little start in round number 1 of 8 or less for Chavez.
And that really is the key, 8 or less. Now remember, Chavez likes going the distance. He says he spars for 10 rounds, he trains for 10 rounds, so he's been ready for this opportunity to go 8 rounds for a while now.
Hey, and Curran, he did tell us this, he does see this as a step-up fight. Right, he's in against the 9-1 guy. The 9-1 person has not fought the level of caliber of composition that he has, but this, he does see it as a step up.
Sees it as a step up. And there's a knockdown in round 1. Right hand by Chavez Barrientes right out of the gate. Talk about stepping up to the challenge here. Chavez Barrientes. We know his twin brother Angel has had highlight reel knockouts here at Caribe Royale, and a knockdown scored for Chavez in round 1. That was a lightning quick right hand for Barrientes. And as we were talking about, Michael, the loss that Contreras took was his last fight, but he said, I only had a week's notice for that fight, and I learned a lot from that. Since then, I've been training, I've been ready, so I have more notice for fights. So he feels like he's ready, Contreras does, for this opportunity.
Plus, he got about 3 weeks notice for this one, so no complaints. If you lose, it's on you, baby.
Coming up on 1 minute to go in the opening round, but first blood was drawn by Chavez Barrientes, that lightning quick right hand.
Claudia Trejos, are you struck by, as I am, or Curran, 5'11", he holds that weight very well. 5'11" is Chavez, and he's got that snap. And we asked him yesterday, you like this weight class? You gonna stay around here? And he says, yeah, no, I can handle it.
And we bring in the third member of our broadcast team, Claudia Trejos.
Thank you, Curran. We were just talking about that nice stiff jab, and it's like a nice little piston right in front of him, and it's giving Contreras a lot of hard times. The interesting thing is Contreras knew what he was facing, but yet I don't think he was prepared for the speed.
That's a long jab in your face, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. 74 inches worth. That's heavyweight material.
And speaking of Claudia Trejos, Claudia, tell us a little bit about how familiar both of these fighters are with each other.
They know each other very well. As a matter of fact, let's not forget, Contreras is 27 years old and Chavez is only 22. But yet they coincided in many amateur events. Therefore, Noah knew exactly the kind of talent that Barrientes could bring to the table. But this is his opportunity for him to shine, take his boxing career to a next level. But Barrientes said, listen, I've seen fighters like Contreras all the time. This is nothing new. And this is my opportunity to go 8 rounds and show people that I'm here to stay.
So definitely two fighters that are aware of each other. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Clearly, we saw what happened there in round 1 for Barrientes, the speed advantage, seemingly, with that quick right hand.
And it's a long jab. Difficult to overcome.
Round 2 underway. Chavez Barrientes scored the knockdown in round 1. This fight is scheduled for 8 rounds at super bantamweight. Barrientes in the black trunks, Contreras in the blue and red. And we were talking about Barrientes' height. Yeah, listed at 5'11". I mean, that's a long way to get down to 122 pounds.
My thoughts exactly. 122, 121.8. He went below the max.
It's feeling like Contreras does not exactly know how to handle it. What do I do? Do I come underneath to get inside that long reach? So he's still trying to figure it out.
It makes it very difficult because Barrientes not only uses the jab at so many different levels, but then his right just comes in nice and smooth. Beautiful 1-2.
And we've been speaking about the right, but there was a quick left hook to the body landed a moment ago for Barrientes. And the Barrientes twins also do know how to go to the body. They can get knockouts and knockdowns in several different ways. And there actually is not a sibling rivalry or competitiveness between the twins. They said they'd be happy if either one became world champion first. And that's a testament to their father, who brought them into the sport and trained trains both of them actively.
Sharp left hook, caught the man coming out. Barrientes, real good snap on that, and real quick, it surprised Contreras.
Seems like Contreras still getting his wits about him, and we're seeing that piston-like jab from Barrientes, and as Claudia pointed out, long punches for Barrientes.
And very precise. And he's saving his energy. He's not just throwing punches. He lands precisely.
Contreras went lefty there for a little bit to try to switch it up. Still trying to figure things out. Got knocked down in the first round and having a little bit better luck in this round, but still, Chavez Barrientes in pretty solid control here at Caribe Royale.
1 minute to go in this second round, and Barrientes has been working the jab, landing it effectively. There's another one.
I can see Contreras opening and closing his jaw. His mouth, I'm not exactly sure if he's just trying to take bigger gasps of air or his jaw is already hurting from the couple of punches that have landed on that jaw.
And it does look like Contreras is switching stances back and forth here, trying to give Barrientes a different look.
Offensively, it's not really happening yet for him, though, so.
Both men get tangled up there in the center of the ring, but it looked like Barrientes got the best of that exchange. 10 seconds to go in this round 2.
You know what that switching means to me? I'm very awkward. I'm very uncomfortable. I don't know what to do.
And we take a look at the Barrientes corner. Chavez did land a quick left hook there at the end of the round. And there we see Chavez Barrientes, his trainer and father, Richard Barrientes. He got his sons into boxing. He said his life growing up, Richard's, was in martial arts. That was his father's training, and he said he always wanted to be a boxer. Now he's passing that on to the next generation. You can only imagine the pride of having twins both being successful here at Caribe Royale. And let's take a look at some of the highlights of the previous round.
Long, tall Barrientes with that quick left hook. Got snap on it, and it got there with alacrity. Contreras still trying to figure it out and showing a little bit decent hand speed there himself. So, hey, he did tell us in the fighter meetings, I'm going to be 2 rounds, and then maybe I'm going to step it up there. So this could be Noah Contreras' come-out round 3.
Round 3 underway. Chavez Barrientes in the black trunks. Noah Contreras in the blue and red. And remember, Contreras said, Michael, to your point, he said, I want to beat him up early and then push on the gas late. So definitely a little bit of a game plan here. He might be saving a little bit, Contreras is, for those later rounds, figuring maybe I have an advantage as the fight goes later on.
Distance is closed a little bit in this round. I don't know if that's Contreras or Barrientes or both of them edging forward a little bit. So action could be heating up in round number 3. A little more trading could come.
I actually think Tomas Ramirez in Contreras' corner decided you need to put the pressure now because you're letting the rounds go because he wasn't very active. And that switching just didn't give him the time to get comfortable, just aplomb into the rhythm of the fight.
And 2 quick jabs followed by a left hook by Chavez Barrientes. So using that lead hand effectively. And it's quick, it's precise to Claudia's point, it's a long punch, so it's hard to defend, and it's very tough to face a fighter this tall and this long at this weight class.
And the discipline to stay behind that jab and at 5'11" to make that weight. You know what that shows me? This young man at 22 is very mature for his age, and he understands this is a commitment. I have yet to see him out of shape or out of timing, period.
Yesterday, before that weigh-in, you know, I could see his cheekbones pretty good. And so I said, you going to be staying at this weight class? And he said, yeah, I want that extra advantage. When I bulk back up and eat and drink, I'm going to be, and you see it in the ring. How much bigger is he? How much longer and taller is he than Noah? So, hey, every advantage you can get within legal means, you're going to do it.
Well, we saw him against in that fight against Daniel Olea. And he said that the heaviest he has ever been is 127, and he felt slow. So this is the weight he wants to maintain, and he feels comfortable and he can make weight with no problem.
And clearly, Chavez Barrientes very comfortable with the weight. Landed a knockdown in round 1. There was a quick right hand uppercut for Barrientes that landed moments ago.
More lefty stance from Contreras in this round than the 2 rounds before. He's moving, but again, the offense just really isn't there at the level of Barrientes.
It's an interesting night for Michael De Jesus, the 3rd man in the ring, constantly trying to separate the fighters because Contreras is constantly looking for that clinch. He's just uncomfortable in that ring. He doesn't know what to do. He's out of answers.
Trying to get into a little bit of a bullying situation there.
Fighters got tangled up, but again, it seems like what we've been seeing. Chavez Barrientes, even in those moments toe-to-toe, is still landing a couple quick shots. And there you see Noah Contreras and his trainer,
Tomas
Ramirez. We mentioned Noah Contreras goes by the Spider as his nickname. He said obviously the Spider-Man, but also he feels like he can move like a spider, right? That's also what he wants to do, and we're seeing a little bit of that, switching stances, movement, but I think you got to add a little bit more offense to that if you want to score some rounds here.
Yeah, you got to be spraying that web and encompass them and do something that Spider-Man would do, man.
A question just for the 3 of us.
Yeah,
At
sure.
27 years old, he only has 10 fights. And he's facing a 22-year-old that has the same amount of fights. Is he perhaps a buck short and a day late? Is he just trying to gain territory and maybe that's why he walks into desperation?
You know, I think as we get round 4 started here, I think it's that also it's where you are in your career in terms of the promoter you align with, the opportunities you have. Noah Contreras is also a barber full-time. He wants to be a boxer full-time, so he probably wants to be more active, wishes he had more fights under his belt, but that opportunity wasn't there for whatever reason. It might be when he started boxing, the promoter he linked up with, a variety of reasons, but he feels like he's in the place he needs now, and if Contreras can pull off the upset, then he's right back in there to have consistent fights.
But then this fight started, and he saw and felt the skill set. And he said yesterday, he says, I want to be like the Green Goblin against Spider-Man. And I said, all right, yeah, the Green Goblin wins every now and again, but he does usually lose. So the analogy, yeah. Got to be throwing bombs like the Green Goblin. Come on now, if you want to win.
And he's got to box his way into that gap and make sure that he keeps the fight in short. And when you're in desperate mode, then you forget your boxing skills. You just go in survival mode. And that's what I see right now.
Yeah, he landed a tight little left hook coming in on Barrientes there. So he's hanging in. He's not getting totally outclassed. This is not a bum fight here. But there's levels, and we're seeing levels in play here, I think, in Orlando.
And there's a nice right hand and a left hand. Here comes Chavez Barrientes, seemingly hurt Noah Contreras, backing him up. Lightning fast punches here for the young Barrientes. Stiff jab snaps the neck of Contreras.
And it's going right through that guard on cue. His timing is flawless.
There it is again, right through the guard, as Claudia pointed out.
Yeah, it's snapping the net back. He's got to tuck that chin in and maybe get some head movement in. It's a little bit stationary. And he's getting whacked and head whacked back pretty darn easy for judges to see what's going on in this one.
Less than a minute to go in the 4th round. And we're seeing Chavez throw the jab. I think it'll be interesting to see when he follows that up. He's done it a few times with a power shot, but the jab getting through effectively. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when he follows it up with a power shot. There's Contreras with a left hand. Didn't have his feet fully under him on that punch, but certainly got the attention of Barrientes.
I think that left hook is going to be the money shot in this one. Barrientes really sees it, the opening, and is very accurate with it. Could spell doom.
And he just keeps it up there, waiting for the perfect time. His timing, like I said, he's been working into a rhythm. And I like to see that in this young 22-year-old.
Yeah, his pacing is very smart and sharp, Claudia.
And I've seen Noah actually getting better now that we're ending this 4th round. He's finally settling down. He's not switching as much.
That brings us to the end of round 4, and let's take a look at some of the action that we had in that previous round, back and forth.
Both hands working for Barrientes. The left hand, the right hand, a little bit of everything in that round. Decent round for Noah Contreras. As Claudia pointed out, you see a little counterpunch there, but then that chin is open for business. He leaves it hanging out there as he gets aggression, and the aggression is used against him. I don't think he's won a round yet.
And we were talking about the experience versus the age, and I think there's also different types of experience, and this plays into what we're speaking about with Chavez Barrientes. He's trained and been in camp with several big-name fighters, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Liam Paro, and there's certain things you learn, certain muscle memory developed when you face off and spar with fighters of that caliber, and clearly we're seeing that here from the young Chavez Barrientes.
And when you're sparring those guys, you're working on your defense probably actually more than anything else. So, you know, his defense has been on target in this one.
And just the exposure to that type of talent, to that type of experience is going to add to your skill set.
Knowing you can hang with those guys.
Of course.
Right, physically the muscle memory, and then of course from a mental level, saying, hey, I can be in there with some of the better fighters in the world.
And going back to what you were saying, Contreras hasn't had those opportunities, plus he's had those lulls of inactivity. That just kind of adds to, obviously, a little bit of ring rust, discomfort, not being able to find his own skill set in this situation.
Contreras is proving to be, I'm going to say, elusive. The sideways movement, left and right, he's mixing it up there. And Claudia said he fought contained there in round number 4.
He's switching less.
He is switching less, so he seems more comfortable.
Contreras mentioned, he said, I'm always busy. He's got 3 young children, ages 5, 1.5, and a 1-month-old at home. That plus being a full-time barber as well, plus training to be a professional boxer as well. So a lot going on, and you know, it is a question there of what kind of training can you get in consistently.
Contreras, a decent account of himself. He had the first loss last time. He said, nope, I got plenty of notice for this one. Last time it was 4 days notice. He's hanging in there, but we're seeing a skills and a level situation that is not benefiting him to this time, and I don't know how he turns it around. I haven't seen yet, you know, any sort of pop that indicates that he could turn it around one fell swoop, but one does never know.
I am going to say that for somebody that hasn't been as active, his stamina is up to par, because his mobility across the ring is amazing, and yet I see absolutely no sign of being tired or, you know, being distracted. He's still very much into the fight.
Contreras, yes, switching stances, moving side to side. He's not giving Chavez Barrientes a stationary target, and of course with that dangerous jab that Barrientes has, that is, you know, something you want to do for Contreras, but clearly you want a little bit more offense as well to win some of these rounds, not just frustrate Barrientes.
I think Contreras, he actually got warmed up and his legs are better, and he's now this is not winning rounds though, but it's surviving and thriving more than getting knocked down, so.
Well, he's not getting railroaded.
Nope.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's actually walking to his own rhythm,
right,
finding his own space, finding his distance. And let me tell you, to find your distance against a young man that has 74 inches worth of reach is not easy.
As we close out round 5, and remember, Barrientes wants this opportunity, wants to go to the later rounds. It's both these men's first time in an 8-round fight, so they're both looking for this experience. As we take a look at the corner of Noah Contreras, said he got started in boxing at just age 7. Said, I'm from a small town, there wasn't much to do, so he picked up the gloves.
Yeah, he's sometimes a little bit awkward in there, but the movement is the thing that stands out for me. More offensive, no, he's not an offensive whiz, but he's threatening to go the distance here at least.
And let's not forget the difference in knockout percentage when we're looking at Chavez Barrientes at 67% of his victories coming by way of knockout, while Contreras, with the lack of activity and only at 44%, that's something that you have to walk in understanding. You can't get too close. You cannot put too much pressure because any given moment, you're going to get connected with that left, and it could be a done deal.
Right, so it is a little bit hard to go against a person who is being evasive like this. Let's see if Barrientes steps it up here. Come on, show yourself to be that Chavez that you were named after.
Fair.
Bring it on.
Round 6 underway, our opening fight of the evening. We got a stacked card here tonight. We got a pair of title fights coming up in the co-main and main event. It's an exciting night here. Boxlab Promotions, Caribe Royale in Orlando. We've been talking about the young stars that are coming out of this platform. We want to see them tested. We want to see them get rounds, and that's what we're seeing here. Chavez Barrientes in the black trunks, Noah Contreras in the blue and red. And we're seeing Contreras. The movement is there, and it's been consistent. To Claudia and Michael, your points, it's been consistent throughout this fight.
It has been consistent, and Chavez, in the last 3 rounds or so, he hasn't been as confident in himself. So what has he got to do to turn back to the early rounds a little bit? I'm going to say keep on pumping that jab, get that in Contreras' face.
Close
And he's also over-swinging a little bit a few times here. Am I saying he's frustrated? No, but mildly.
Well, he's over-swinging because Contreras is closing the gap a little bit more in his mobility.
And there's a huge left hook for Chavez Barrientes. He caught Noah Contreras backing up, landed the left hook. And that is the second knockdown of the fight scored for Chavez Barrientes.
And we could see that left hook. That left was right there waiting for the perfect space and moment. He was just getting his timing down.
And now, what can Chavez Barrientes do? He's mentioned he's hurt fighters in the 6th round in the past. He's always wanted time. He's got 1:20 in this 6th round. And here you see him throwing the left hook, looking to land that again. Working behind that piston-like jab that we've seen all night.
He's being smart. He's not chasing him, but there's that fine line between not chasing someone and then maybe not being aggressive enough.
It's definitely a patient game plan, knowing that he had Contreras hurt, not rushing in, not overcommitting. There's another left hook that lands for Chavez Barrientes.
Well-placed left hook. Got himself some distance, slid back just about a half a foot there.
Huge left hook lands again for Barrientes. And there's the jab one more time.
The timing, the pacing. He is literally in this fight. He's totally committed and focused. Be very aware because I have a slight feeling this is not going to go to the last round.
Yeah, Contreras is dipping. The energy is dipping. The movement is dipping. Might be saved by the bell here.
Can Contreras make it out of the round? 5 seconds to go in this round 6. But damage certainly done. A second knockdown scored for young Chavez Barrientes. And guys, he also added a body attack there later in that round. So knowing his opponent is hurt, slowing down, that was another thing he added to the arsenal. Let's take a look at Noah Contreras here trying to recover after that second knockdown.
There's a little bit of blood trickling down from his lips on the left side.
As we've seen, he's not someone who's comfortable, I guess, with clinching or what have you. He doesn't have the strength for that, so he has to keep on moving. That is hard to do.
And let's take a look at Chavez Barrientes' handiwork with the knockdown in round 6.
Right hand clubbing, maybe hurt him a little bit. You see defending, and then the left hook down right on his butt there.
But Barrientes pouncing on his prey. He wouldn't let it go. He was literally on top, putting the pressure on Contreras. And you know what? I can agree with what Woodsy was saying, that perhaps Barrientes was pulling back a little bit, but he was also taking a quick step, a quick break, because we saw how he closed that round with all the energy up there.
Right.
Round 7 underway. Chavez Barrientes looking to build upon that. And if you look at that replay, 3 left hands in a row. Left hook, left jab, left hook again, and he took advantage of Contreras trying to get a little break there. And let's see how Chavez Barrientes picks up on that after Contreras has had a minute of rest.
Do we see him pick up? Do we say he, all right, knows this is the 7th round. I'm ramping it up. I want to close the darn show.
And this is the first 7th round for both men. They haven't fought 8-round fights before, so it'll be interesting to see. Remember, Contreras said my game plan was to go late and then step on the gas. So very interesting to see these final 2 rounds here.
I like that Barrientes has allowed this fight to move. He's actually adding rounds to his record, and he's still just very controlled, very composed. He has not looked into just going for the jugular, just taking his time and implementing his fight plan.
He's making the rounds work for him. Indeed.
Each round getting more and more experience. There's a big right hand that lands for Chavez Barrientes, but this is the first 7th round that he's been in. And so he's looking to get that experience, get those rounds under his belt, know that the conditioning is there to go late if you need it.
And you see him at 9-0. The seasoning, a certain degree of seasoning. He hasn't been stupid and overly aggressive, pacing himself nicely, understanding there's 3 minutes of every round, and I don't have to be busy during all of them. We're liking what we're seeing very much from Chavez Barrientes so far in this one. Does he close the show? Does he close the show, guys?
I think he will. I think he will. I don't think we're going to go to the last bell.
I think for Chavez Barrientes, what we heard from him is getting these rounds, I think, are important to him. So in his mind, closing the show might be dominating your opponent, getting several knockdowns, and going the distance and having those rounds under your belt. That's the question.
But the fact that he's looking for this opportunity to showcase not only his talent, but his maturity, and that he's able to play with the big boys. He needs to have a decisive win. Not that he's not doing it.
Certainly a decisive first 7 rounds of the fight for Chavez Barrientes. Coming up on 30 seconds to go in this 7th round.
Also remember, the guy Contreras does not want to get stopped. So an evasive person who is even more interested in being evasive late.
He's got the stamina to keep running.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about the movement of Contreras and the energy required, but Chavez has been stalking him the entire fight, and there's also a lot of energy needed to keep backing up your opponent.
Massive discipline. Very well conditioned. And I think the key here is his composure. He doesn't waste energy.
And that was the 7th round. This will now be the first 8th round for both men. Let me ask you guys this, because we talked about the twin brother of Chavez Barrientes, Angel Barrientes, and we've seen him here. He's had highlight reel knockouts, and those knockouts, especially in modern day boxing, they can go viral. You can see them on social media. You can help build up your fan base. So how important is that for Chavez Barrientes? How much does he need to step on the gas in this 8th
We
and final
sort of
round?
touched on it in fighter meetings yesterday. I asked him, I said, is there a rivalry with you and bro? I said, no. And that to me indicates that no, in fact, there isn't. He's not getting stupid trying for the knockout here. Maybe he gets a little bit overeager in round 8, but I don't think so. I think he realized, you know what, a win is a win. Yeah, would I like more knockouts, and does that draw more eyeballs? Yeah, but the way he's doing it, can't quibble with it. Cannot quibble at all.
And you know what? Noah Contreras, despite going down twice, he's not frustrated. He's not going crazy. There was a little bit of anxiety in those first 4 rounds, but now he's settled in. He might not have the upper end of this fight, at least not on my card, but he's still in the fight. He's still there.
He actually came out with 5 jabs so far to start the round, and his busiest start to any round at all.
This is the 8th and final round of this super bantamweight fight to open up our 4-fight card here at Boxlab Promotions, Night of Champions on the Zone. Chavez Barrientes has been in full control, landed 2 knockdowns, and this is the first, as we've said, first 8th round for both men. You can see if they're going to continue the game plan, or is it time for plan B? Contreras kept talking about in our meetings this week that he's going to turn it on late.
To tighten it up. I don't know if he Do you think he's got the power to do it? Because there's nothing else but a knockout. I mean, mathematically speaking. Does he have what it takes to pull that kind of upset?
Well, even if he has the power, one thing I'll say, and this is a testament to Chavez Barrientes, is Barrientes is not letting Contreras get set. He's not letting him sit down on those punches, right? So if you watch the fight, it's just the continuous stalking by Barrientes. And so I don't think he's letting Contreras sit down on his power shots.
And I don't think Contreras is looking to sit in his punches either, because he just doesn't want to be that object right in front of Barrientes. That's a dangerous fighter.
Barrientes sticking to the game plan that has worked, working behind the jab, stalking Contreras, backing him up, following up the jab with the left hook.
As far as volume goes, this is probably Contreras' maybe his busiest round. He's landing here and there. And it looks like, I mean, knock on wood, got a minute to go, but he's in survival mode and thriving just a little bit, so.
Woodsy, and he proved me wrong. I didn't think we were going to get to this instance, and we did.
No,
I give him so much
still
credit.
got 45 seconds, but yeah.
Yeah, but still.
Right.
He hasn't stopped throwing punches. He's still right there, right in front of Barrientes.
Oh, he's landed his best shots of any round in this eighth round, so props to him.
Barrientes also landed a big left hook moments ago. These guys fighting toe-to-toe in the center of the ring. Final 30 seconds of our opening bout here.
Hey, we always hungry, I am anyway, for knockouts, but getting this experience, getting 8 rounds against a guy who is kind of a little tricky and elusive, nothing bad about that.
10 seconds to go. Chavez Barrientes showing the entire arsenal. Now here's the right hand. And that's going to be ruled a knockdown. Third knockdown of the fight in round 8. We're going to get a count here.
He gets the countdown. He's getting the count.
So to add to what was already a dominant performance, that's going to be scored a third knockdown in the 8th and final round. 3 knockdowns total for young Chavez Barrientes, round 1, 6, and 8. And that time, it seemed like the right hand did damage. So Barrientes varying the attack, not just the left hook, not just using the lead hand, but also the right hand there as well. And we're going to take a look at some of the highlights here, starting with the knockdown in round 1.
Knockdown in round 1, it was a sweeping right hand that put Contreras on his butt. Bang, counter. And then just backing him up with the left hand. That's the knockdown in round number 6, I think, right?
Yeah, that was the 6th round. The 3 left hands in a row.
Pushing forward with both hands, pushing Contreras back.
Constant pressure. Constant pressure. Well done. That was a beautiful left.
It's the right hand that hurt him.
Yeah, so there was leading, there was countering. Aggression, patient, smart aggression, we're going to say the whole way through. He definitely did try to close the show. Left hook there, real sharp. A lot of heavy thunder dropping from Chavez Barrientes.
And referee Michael De Jesus confirmed once again that last one was a knockdown, just to make sure that's definitely a 10-8 round.
They did get a little tangled up. You could call it a slip. Obviously, the referee, Michael De Jesus, is ruling that a punch caused that, so that was his ruling, so that's a knockdown in the final round. And these were vital rounds for young Chavez Barrientes. And Noah Contreras showed movement, showed a bunch of different things, staying active, getting experience, and that's what he's looking to do. And it looks like we are going to have the final scorecards. They're in the hands of Mark Fratto, so let's get the official decision. Let's throw it back up to Mark Fratto.
All right, fight fans here in Central Florida, let's make some noise. These two warriors going all 8 rounds for the first time in their careers. We now go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges, Tina Griffith, Harold Hunt, and Rose Lesend, each scored this contest 80-69. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision and still undefeated, From Honolulu, Hawaii, Chavez 50 cal Barrientes.
Chavez Barrientes, as expected, earns the unanimous decision nod, and we're going to hear from Chavez Barrientes. He's in the ring with Claudia Trejos.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Talk about a dominant win. How do you feel going 8 rounds?
Oh, I felt great. I did the 8 rounds, no problem. I got them 3 times, and I wasn't tired at all, so I felt like I did really good.
So let's go real quick. First round, you knock him down. He gets up. 6th round, you knock him down. He gets up. What are you thinking at this point in time?
I'm ready to go 8 rounds, if it comes down to it. I like the early stoppage, but I'm ready for all 8.
And he goes down the last time, last round, and he still gets up. What did you need to do to keep this guy down?
I feel like I had to land more combinations. I felt like the ones I was dropping was just one shot. I had to land the 3 and 4 at the end.
We commended your stamina, your commitment to that jab. Yeah. How would you grade your performance today?
I feel like I did a B+, A-. I would have liked the stoppage, but I felt like I did a dominant performance.
And of course, this is your first time going to 8, and we were talking about this is the opportunity for you to take your boxing career to the next level. What would be the next level for you?
Hopefully I could get like a title limiter or just keep stepping up in the rankings. I feel like I did a really good job against a 9-1. He was a really solid opponent. He was a step up, and I feel like I did a really good job.
Well, you knew him for a while. Was this the kind of fight you expected from somebody like Contreras?
Yeah, I knew he was going to be a warrior. That's why he got up 3 times. But it just shows what level I'm at against a 9-1.
We're looking forward to seeing you back. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Back to you, Karan.